Hello and welcome to episode number 2 of Exquisite Interiority. I am Michael Abney and I'm with,
This is Marilyn Egan.
and we're the creators of MPowered podcast, and this is a special 9-part series dedicated to taking care of yourself from the inside out. Today we're talking about the second chakra. The sound connected to that is the color is orange. The location is by the belly button. And the meaning here, or the word connected to this, or the issues that come up with the sacral chakra, is in the area of trust.
Yes.
And this is a reliance on integrity, strength, ability, surety, a person or a thing, or confidence. As we talk through all of these, we're going to see the connection because everything's connected, especially this.
Yes.
So our first chakra was, we talked about the fear and the root. That's where that was being held. And now that's opened up. And now
Yes.
we're on to trust in the second chakra. So from your point of view, how does that chakra play into our body, the emotion of it? Share a little bit about that.
Okay. Yeah, the second chakra is just from the pubic bone to just below the navel. And the energy is, obviously that's where we reproduce. It's creativity. We create humans here.
Mm-hmm.
We also experience connection. It's about one-on-one relationships. It's, which is where trust, I think, falls in. We have to trust ourselves in order to find that trust with others. It's also about going with the flow. It's very watery. Our bladder's in there. It's very watery and going with the flow of energy. It's really a very childlike freedom energy in the second chakra, and it's a very powerful one. When the second chakra is really good and balanced, you can really do most anything you want. It gives you a lot of power in yourself. I believe that's where, and one of my teachers used this quote, and I've never forgotten it. This is where the soul embraces the body. So when you think about that, when reproducing and creating human, that's where the soul comes into the body. So that's pretty amazing. And that's what gives it so much power, I believe, because there's magic that happens in humans growing inside of us that just can't be described. There's so much more to it than the physical that we understand.
You may not have the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay.
So this is also an area that an enormous amount of people gain weight in. Like It comes on the body there. Weight, fat is protection in my world. Or like, what's your take on it?
Yes, it is protection. It's also about stress. The second chakra really doesn't like the stress piece. That's more of some of the other chakras. But when we're not in balance, it kind of pockets there. The stress, the protection will pack on right here too. But it's also because, especially for women, the female organs there are very valuable. And sometimes we need it to physically protect us. And then there's also the emotional protection that we use too.
So
it's both.
There, but
it's both.
Both.
Yeah.
So as someone who has had more protection in that area at different points in my life, and losing that over the past several years.
Yeah.
And taking care of myself, not to lose weight, but just to take care of myself with food and exercise and those types of things. When that's come off, I've noticed a lot of emotional stuff during that time.
Right.
Came up.
Hmm. You had to learn how to trust yourself,
There's
right?
nothing. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was where that came from. Trust myself to, like committing to working out. I did that. I'm at year 3 now, and I wasn't, when I first started, because I've stopped and started so many times in my life, but I would always, had in the past, have started it to lose weight,
Yes.
and it never worked. And this time I was just doing it so that I could get stronger in my body. The older that we get, I'm now in my early 50s, that was something that was important to me, is because I'd never known myself as being strong before.
Yes.
And this proved that to me. So which leads to a whole other conversation about taking that to the next level of understanding how strong that we really are. I'm going to share a little breakthrough that I had in that particular area.
Yes.
Recently, because as we talked about previously, we've all been going through the ringer lately, and
For sure.
things that I never saw coming. I mean, I knew what my career was. I knew where I was planted was in the right thing. And then late last year, around September actually, around our birthdays, it shifted and it just became really unclear. And I'm like, oh God, I knew what this was, and now I'm not. This is getting tough. There's things I didn't anticipate that showed up that just really created a really tough situation that I had to overcome.
That didn't feel right.
Didn't feel right. And my automatic is always to avoid that and run away and do something else. But it was just that was not possible now. I was like, no, face this. What is this? Dig deeper, which is what we encourage our listeners to do. And our Facebook group that we created is for that too, a space where we can do a deeper dive so that we're using our community to support each other as we go through the things that could occur scary at the beginning, right? So I did what I did. I spoke my truth in this situation. It just became really clear that I needed to create an exit strategy out of that situation and stop being scared to fulfill my dream, which I'm not doing. And when that all transpired and I faced it, it was not comfortable at all. But I didn't run. I looked, I faced it. We completed the conversation. We completed our relationship, our work relationship. And it was just something that was really magical to happen. And I felt really empowered. And I was driving home from that experience, and I had the emotional release of it. Like I just started crying, the ugly cry in the car. Like if the people driving by, they were like, what the hell's going on with that guy?
That's what happens
But
in the car.
I couldn't stop it. It just blew out of me. And I heard my grandmother, who is a spirit now, say to me, you don't have to be the tough guy anymore. And I was like, what? What does that mean? And as soon as I said, what does that mean? Then I instantly knew, like on a cellular level, that I no longer had to create these scenarios of toughness so that I was proving to myself how tough and strong I was, that I didn't have to do that anymore. I could just get it, that I am that. And about a year ago, well, many, many years ago, but I keep rereading it. It's called the Master Key System. And there's a quote, or there's a line in that book that says, these 7 words dispel any, because they're so true, stating them, affirming them, dispels all forms of discourse in your life. And something when I read that, because I read it 5 or 6 times before that, but something this time was like, oh, that's different. I'm going to put that on a wall.
Yeah.
I'm going to start saying that all the time. And so I'm whole, I'm perfect, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm loving, I'm harmonious, and I'm happy.
Yes.
And that I just started doing that, and that ingrained in me, which I know was the seed that brought this ultimately out in my life, that I let that go. And I've had no fear since then.
Wow, that's amazing.
It
That's amazing.
gone.
So you know what you did?
Tell me.
You took the second chakra piece you took the first chakra of the fear. You moved it through the trust piece for yourself. you actually move that on up to upper level chakras also. But you see, it had to clear in the second chakra first. That one-on-one relationship, you had to clear the relationship. There's also, it's that gut feeling that you had came from the second chakra. And we also have intuitive abilities, or that gut feeling comes from the second chakra.
Oh,
So
I knew
that's
it.
where
Like,
it all started. And then you actually opened up that so that it could flow up into some of the higher chakras too. Exactly. Perfect. I love that.
I just
love
wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, I think that's incredible.
What else do we need to know about this particular chakra?
Ooh, it's such a big one. But I think really the big thing is that it is about trust, and that it really starts with trusting ourselves. And, when it comes to trusting other people, it's really not about that, because we're all human. We're all going to make mistakes. One thing we can trust in humans is that we're all going to make mistakes.
Do you see this as, like, when you placing trust in somebody? Let's take a deep dive there.
Okay.
We place my trust. Like, what energetically really is that? Is that trust, or is that I'm placing an expectation?
It's an expectation,
on
and
that
it's kind
person?
of giving your power away.
That's-
Your power, you need to trust you. You need to trust your gut feeling. So that's how I see it, is that, I mean, of course, we want to be the best we can be for other people, and we want them to be that for us too. However, it's just really about trusting ourselves and what we feel.
So now that you've said that, I can see when that switch happened in September, how I knew that,
Yes.
but where I had trusted, with my air quotes that I'm doing right now that nobody can see.
Yes.
Trusted, really what I was doing was I had an expectation that these other people in this particular situation were going to do what they said they were going to do.
Oh, right.
And they didn't.
Right.
And then what I experienced didn't have anything to do with trust. It was my unfulfilled.
It was you.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
just saw that when you said that.
Perfect.
But now that's never, ever, ever, ever going to happen the rest of my
Right.
life in this lifetime, because of the aha.
You get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
That's what all this is about. It's
And I'm
about
free.
getting it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm
yes.
free.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. When you become free, that's all you want, is other people to experience
Right.
that too, which is
Right.
why we do this.
Exactly. Well, since we're here, well, I will tell one little quick story about that gut feeling.
Yes.
Is that I remember my kids used to, Mom, can I go here? Can I go there? Can I do this? And, they're like 10, 12 years old. And you did have to use some discernment about going. And there's a certain place my son would ask quite often. I had no reason for saying no. I liked the people. It was a nice home. I just oftentimes said no. He goes, why? My gut just says that's not a good idea today. That's not a good idea today. He goes, that's been what your gut has been saying a lot of days. I don't know that I like your gut. It was so funny to me, but I didn't have any other answer for him except my gut feeling says no. Well, 10, 12 years down the road, he goes, Mom, your gut feeling was really right. There were some things going on you didn't want me involved in at that time. And I said, okay, thank you. I mean, I knew it, but I didn't know cognitively. It was just my body, my gut feeling. And I think I live on that now. I live on that trust, that divine trust that sits inside of me. Once we always have moments of fear, but once I got rid of the worst of the fears, I can live in that trust and live in divine trust. So, if it's okay with you, I want to do a little exercise.
Yes.
Or give you an exercise that is really an area that was open on you for you to take that second chakra and move that energy all the way up then into the third and fourth in this story that you told
Okay.
us. Because there's a band right between the second and third chakra called the belt flow. And it can get blocked up rather easy just with life stuff. And when that's open, the second and third chakra can talk to each other. They kind of represent the right brain and left brain, if you're familiar with that. The right brain that's free flowing and creative and has all this energy. And then the third chakra that has a lot more rules and regulations for us, and which is kind of like the left brain. And when you can get those two chakras communicating, life works so much better. So since we're getting ready to move into the third chakra on the next one, I want to just tell you this exercise. It's clearing the belt flow. So what you would do is take one hand and take it to your spine on your back.
Does it matter which hand?
No, because we're going to do it on both sides.
Okay.
It's easier to do standing up, but we're just going to do it right here. And we'll probably demonstrate this on our Facebook group, right?
Yes, this is one of the things that we're going to be doing, little videos on how to do this at home. But
Yeah. So take one hand, place it on your low back, like straight behind your navel, and pull that energy around. Bring your other hand to the side of your waist and just pull that energy around. Do that at least 3 times. Yeah.
And just flick it off?
Well, we're going to move it down our leg and get it
Okay.
down into the earth.
Okay.
And then pull. And then brush that down the side of the opposite leg down into the earth. Okay? Then you'll do the same thing on the other side. So take the other hand, reach it back to your back, and your arm across to your waist. Pull that energy around. And then do it again. Pull it around. And pull again. And then down off the opposite leg into the earth. Whew. Doesn't that feel better? I do this on a regular basis, but it just still feels good every time I do it.
And that clears out whatever is in that particular,
Yes,
what did you call it again?
this belt flow. It's a band that kind of sits in between the second and third chakra.
What's its purpose?
Well, its purpose is to be open to connect the energies that are so very, very different of the second and third chakra.
Got it.
And it's kind of like that piece that is between the hemispheres of the brain, you know, if you want to look at it that way.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's very powerful, but it's right at the navel. The navel's a very powerful piece too that we'll have to talk about at a later time. But yeah, isn't that nice? Then
like
now we're free to go to the third chakra on our next podcast.
We are, but I feel like a little bit lighter.
Yes, you do feel lighter when that's open.
Wow.
You feel more connected, like the bottom
Yeah.
half of your body is connected with the top half of your body.
I love it. What's your takeaway from today? Or from this particular topic?
You know, actually, probably the fact that the way you described how it flowed from the first, or from the second to the third to the fourth, actually from the first, second, third, and how they all work together. That was my aha as I was sitting here listening. And
My aha was that when you said that it opens up to the creativity.
yeah,
And like opening my new company I have been in the most loving, creative place with it. I've never poured so much love into anything in my life. And it was before, it was always just get it done so I can go do it. No, it's like, take your time. I don't care how long this takes.
right.
I'm having fun right now because this is allowing something new to come out, like more of me.
Perfect.
And thinking through everything, and whatever we focus on expands.
Right.
And this was a really good thing
Yay.
that happened in this episode, because I'm feeling ready to go on to the next one.
Good deal.
So just wanted to remind everybody that to like our Facebook page, our MPowered Facebook page, and to join our Facebook group, because we're going to be talking about different aspects of every episode as we go through week by week. And just to remind everybody, this is where you can find other like-minded humans that are also waking up, actually all over the world now. And we are so much stronger together. And welcome to your MPowered tribe. Join us for episode 3, where we're going to be focusing on the solar plex. And we already did our exercise.
Yes, we did.
Love that.
We did.
And we look forward to seeing everybody in our next episode, number 3. Thanks for listening. We look forward to chatting in just a few. Bye.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.